Good morning, y'all. What y'all got going on? Good morning. Can y'all hear me? Good morning, y'all. What y'all got going on? Happy Sunday. Can y'all hear me? Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday. Let me know you can hear me. Say good morning. Good morning. Morning. Good morning, y'all. It is Sunday. Good morning, call me darling. It is Sunday. We gonna talk about it. Let's have our Sunday chit chat. Let's have our Sunday chit chat. I was supposed to go live last night on Patreon. Y'all, I forgot all about it because we went live on the Sammy Nicole and Fifi show. We did a check-in over there last night. So for you all that missed it, go over there and watch the check-in over there. We had some good conversation over there about a couple of things that are going on that we deem to be fatal attraction. So when y'all get a chance, make sure y'all go over there. Hey, Living Proof. I forgot about y'all last night. And so I did that show. And then when I got off of there, honey, I started watching it. It's Her Fault on Peacock. Everybody has been ranting and raving about it on TikTok, the series on Peacock, It's Her Fault. So I watched a couple of episodes of that and then I was tired. So I went to bed. So I missed y'all on Patreon. So I said, well, let me jump over here on my channel this morning and let's have our Sunday chit chat. Let me see. I'm still in the bed being lazy. I'm sorry I missed y'all show yesterday. I did catch the replay and I was like, okay, no problem. Call me darling. No problem. It's up there. Just when you all get a chance, go watch it. We had a good show last night. Kind of touching. There was a lady in the chat that could relate to what we was talking about. So if y'all could go over there and just listen to it and send her good vibes, it really touched my heart. And one thing about our channel, our community over on the Sammy Nicole and Fifi show, and my channel as well, we have such a good community. And when people come in our chats, they always feel like it's a safe place to share. And I really like that we give off that energy, with our lives and with our videos that, you can come share. And so we kind of, like said a prayer for her, sent her good vibes with the situation. I won't say what it was. Y'all can go over there and listen to the live from last night on the Sammy Nicole show and kind of send her good vibes. I thought about it even when I got off the live. I really thought about her. My heart just went out to her. You just never, you just never know what people are going through. You just never know what people are going through. We go on about our day-to-day lives, the hustle and bustle, working, providing for our families, taking care of our families, taking care of ourselves. But people out there are really going through some real life stuff and they're reaching out any way they can to navigate, to cry out, to get help. And it just touches my heart and it just really makes me, feel like, that we are making a difference with our platform. I'm gonna say it's a large platform, but I'm gonna speak it into existence. It's a large platform. We have a large channel over there at the Sammy Nicole and Fifi show. I'm speaking it, but no matter if it was 10 subscribers or the 4,100 that we have over there, when we come live, we are touching people and we are sharing and helping somebody along the way. And that's why I will never, no matter what we got going on, no matter what I got going on, with me going back to school and with Samantha going in a different direction in her career, we will always take time to come and spend time on that channel, no matter what we have going on. Sometimes it's difficult for us both to get together. She's gone, I'm gone. We're doing different things because we have lives outside of each other. So, but Last night she said, "Ma, you want to go live? I'm here. Let's go live." I said, "Cool. I'm watching my shows, but let's stop and let's go live and let's talk about some of the things that has been going on." And one of the things that we talked about was Tangi Davis, the young lady here that got on the live by Cecil McCurry. And then we also talked about Latasha Davis, the case that was up in Memphis, Tennessee. So I always like to say that we started that channel for a reason. Even if it's something that we discuss touch one person and makes a difference in their lives. And I think last night, I think that that woman crying out, and us coming and praying for her in a time of need. I hope that makes a difference, and that she sees a shift. I pray that she sees a shift through the power of prayer that she received last night in her situation. And so I'm just praying and asking God, sending protection and favor, and asking God to just sh- plead the blood of Jesus over that situation. So I will always say that our channel, I know we get on that channel and we kiki and we talk, and we do our little things, but that channel does sow a seed to help somebody. And so we were over there last night, so go check it out. But I also want to come on because I wanted to ask you all if you all seen the Eddie Murphy um documentary. The Eddie Murphy has his doc on Netflix, and I was watching that. Yep, where two or more are gathered. Yes, yes, living proof. And we were gathered, and when I tell you they were praying for her in our chat over on the Sammy Nicole and Fifi show, and for something so sensitive, it was just it was a sensitive subject, and we were just sharing, just sharing what we our thoughts on it. And she just came in and said what she was going through, and we just started to just embrace her, and pray for her, because to get on somebody's platform and to share something so personal and so dear. And she even said, "I am at my wit's end with this situation." That she was crying out for help, y'all. And she was crying out for help and interceding for somebody she loved, you know? And that could be any of us. That could be any of us. You just never know. That could be any of us feeling helpless and hopeless and crying out. And so, and nothing is, me personally, I don't believe in luck and stuff. Like, I believe that everything happens for a reason, and everything has a divine time and a divine purpose. God God puts things in order. You know, you hear people say, that's why if I don't make it somewhere, or like Friday I had a nail appointment. Well, Saturday I had a nail appointment, and the young lady rescheduled. I was upset about it. Years ago I would have been upset about it, but God could have been protecting me from something. Maybe I didn't need to go. It's everything has a divine order and a divine purpose in life. Nothing happens just by chance. That's my belief. So I believe that we were supposed to go live at that time last night and talk about what we talked about, and to bring that woman into our chat, because at that time she was seeking for help for what she was going through. And I just believe that. That's just my belief, and I just believe that's just how God works. So that's what happened on that channel last night. So I just wanted to jump on this morning and spend time over here on my channel and talk about, some of the things that they are saying about the Eddie Murphy doc. Eddie Murphy is 64 now. He looks great. Do I think he's had a little Botox done? I'm not, y'all know I ain't against having a little work done, a little face balancing done. Y'all know I ain't against that. If you know, you know. If you don't know, go back and watch some of my videos. Y'all know I ain't against a little face balancing. But Eddie Murphy talked about his career. Good morning, everybody. Eddie Murphy talked about his career. I haven't watched it yet. Okay. Yeah, catch it. Check it out. It's really good, y'all. And I learned some things about Eddie Murphy that I didn't know, and which I'm kind of not surprised because people who are real creative, they kind of have like they have like compulsive behavior. So I'm really not really surprised because he's very creative and he's very in tuned. He Eddie Murphy is deep to say the least. He's very intelligent, and he has like that third eye. I'll say that he's different, and now I understand how he was able to come up play so many characters like in Coming to America, and in Nutty Professor, and in Morbid. I was Now I understand how he can get into those characters like that, right? So he's very creative, and there's kind of like the little thing going around on social media that he may have some type of mental behavior going on because he had OCD, and he says he still has it, right? So he goes on to talk about, how he got started in Hollywood, how he was raised up, with his biological mother and father, and how they were, in a toxic relationship, how they fought and argued all the time, the typical stuff we probably all grew up with, seeing our parents go back and forth that time, because during that time, domestic violence wasn't a thing. We didn't know it was domestic violence. We just thought our mom and daddy just, and I'm not saying everybody, but I'm speaking for myself and for what I grew up around. Because some people could have grew up around with their mom and daddy loving on each other every day and kissing and hugging. But from what I grew up on, I just thought it was normal for my mama and daddy to be cussing each other out and arguing and fussing and then going on about their day like nothing happened, right? So Eddie Murphy grew up like that as well, right? And so he talked about that. And then later on, his father ended up leaving. And then later on, his father was unalive. His brother told the story where his father was unalive. Charlie told the story where his father was unalive by a woman that he was in a relationship with. Eddie was 7, so Eddie's mother ends up marrying another man, and that becomes like his father figure, and that's who he calls his father because he says that's the only father that he remembers. So he grows up. He goes to school, and he realized that he's a little bit different, and then he gets into the arts and acting and everything. And then he starts. Eddie was on Saturday Night Live when he was 18, y'all. He was 18 or 19. And so he ended up falling out with the people on Saturday Night Live because they were racist. Just to sum it up, they were racist. So Eddie always spoke up about racism and black people not getting their due diligence in the entertainment industry. And I don't know if you all remember where he talked about that at the Oscars. And he was blackballed. Eddie Murphy was blackballed. And people would always say, I know Eddie gonna get a Oscar for the Nutty Professor. He should have got an Oscar, if for nothing else, the Nutty Professor. That alone, he should have got an Oscar for all those characters. And Coming to America, he definitely should have got an Oscar for all those. Every last one of them needed an Oscar. But he was blackballed, and as of today, he has never received an Oscar. And I was like, oh my goodness. Y'all, I could not believe that. As of today, Eddie Murphy has never received an Oscar. So he talks about that. He's sitting in his beautiful home in LA. You know, he's sitting in an area of his house where the roof, he pushes a button and the roof rolls off the top of his house. Just beautiful. Of course, he um he has married another Caucasian woman. He has 10 children. He's been through the divorce. Um, he's with another woman now. He said he just enjoys his life, right? He recently went back in 2019, went back to Saturday Night Live. He said that he stopped his signature laugh because that's what he didn't want to be labeled and be known for a signature laugh. So what he did is he reinvented himself. People knew him by that that chuckle laugh, and he stopped that. If you notice, he doesn't do that anymore. So he talked about all his movies and all his accomplishments. Yes, Dream Girls. Yes, he did a great. Yeah, Dream Girls. All of those movies. And I often wonder, y'all, why in the world this man never got an Oscar? Never. Never got an Oscar. And I don't think Will Smith has gotten one either. So we know that industry is racist, y'all. The entertainment industry, the movie industry, all of that, and Hollywood, period. And when he did that announcement on one of the Oscar shows back in the early 90s, they blackballed him. If you notice, he only pops up when he has a project going on. Outside of that, nope. Nope. He stays with his family. He says he stays out of the limelight. And even they said back in the day, they would see Eddie Murphy out at the Hollywood parties, and he would be back in the corner. He said he never did drugs. He said he hit a joint when he was 30, and that was it. He's never done drugs. He don't drink. He don't indulge in any of that. And they said that back in the day when he would be at Hollywood parties, you would see him sitting in the corner having a Coke, drinking a Coke. So they said he always lived a very clean life, no drama, none of that. They said none of that. The only thing you heard about is when that scandal came out when he was allegedly with that transgender. They found him on Hollywood Boulevard where he had picked up that situation with that transgender and allegedly, with Johnny Gill. We heard the hype around that. We don't know how true that is or what. You know. Will yeah, yes, got slapped. Exactly. So, Eddie spoke out about that and he said for a long time he thought he was blackballed. But he's real. I don't have you all ever met somebody that's kind of collected, they're kind of like real deep into their thoughts. They see everything with a third eye, things that we don't think about. They say he's like that, real in his creative bag, real out of the box thinking. They're trying to say that he had a mental behavior problem because he said when he was a child, he would get up in the middle of the night and check the stove to make sure that the eyes on the stove were turned off. And he said as a child, he would do that 3-4 times in the night. And it was like a compulsive behavior disorder that he had. And he said he fixed that on his own because y'all back in the day, who knew about compulsive behavior, OCD? Who knew about that back in the day in the early 70s and 80s? Who knew about that? So he said that he would catch himself, and stop doing it. Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with me. So he caught himself, but he says that he still does that now, and he has to. How he explained it is he corrected that behavior because he did not want to be labeled as having a mental illness. So the buzz now on TikTok is that he had issues. That's what they're saying. He had issues, but I don't see it like that. They're trying to say maybe he had, a little bit of schizophrenic. He was schizophrenic, maybe. I think they're taking it a little bit too far. Is he different? Yeah. But I think that people who have the gift of creativity, whether you are a vocal artist, you are a painter, or poetry, you do poetry, or anybody that has a creative gift, I think they're a little bit eclectic. That's the word I'm looking for. I think they are a little bit eclectic. Let me see. He's a genius. Yes, in a sense. Yes. Yes, in a sense of words. He was probably is, yeah, undiagnosed spectrum behavior. Yes, call me darling. Yes, that's it. Spectrum, on the spectrum. And he realized that. But y'all, our parents back in the day didn't know anything about that. Our parents didn't know that anything about being on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? He was a genius, and he didn't know how to bring that out. You know what I'm saying? How to birth that. He had it's in him, and he birthed it through being a comedian, right? He birthed it through his gift, that creative gift of being a comedian. And we saw that in all the characters that he played, and all the characters that Eddie Murphy played. We saw that gift. And so people who don't, people, society will label you instead of giving you credit for a God gift. They will find the negative in that gift, and they will amplify that instead of bringing magnitude notice to what your gift is in life. And that's what happened to Eddie Murphy. Right? And you see that in this interview. At 64, you see that he's eclectic, and he has that gift, right? He's a out of the box thinker, right? Now you understand. Now I'm watching that documentary. I understand what how he was able to do all those characters, because you have to have a certain type of a brain function to be able to click in and out, to be the nutty professor, and to be able to create all of those people in your mind. In your mind, any weird behavior parents thought something was wrong with you back in those days. Yes. Yes. Yes, call me darling. They thought something was wrong with you, and they labeled you as having a problem, right? But he noticed, and he talks about that. And there's a part in the documentary where he talks to Jesse Jackson, and Jesse Jackson didn't realize that coming to America, all the characters in the barbershop, Eddie played those characters so well in the barbershop. Jesse Jackson thought that those were people that he hired to be actors. And he told him, I really appreciate you reaching into the community and bringing in those, older actors into your movie. And Eddie was like, man, those were me. That was me. That was me. So I think Eddie has really put a great footprint in the industry. Um, he doesn't do much now. Like you said, he doesn't do much, but every time he comes out with a movie, I'm watching it. I am an Eddie Murphy's fan. Beverly Hills Cops is one of my favorite movies. Um, Trading Places is one of my favorite. I'm gonna watch that. I watch Trading Places every holiday season because it is made around the holidays. That is one of my favorite ones. Trading Places is one of my favorite ones. They say that Eddie Richard Pryor was set to play that role in Trading Places, but he had the incident where he set himself afire, and so he was not able to play that role. Him and Gene Wilder, I think, was gonna play that role. Gene was gonna be the white guy, but Eddie, that's how Eddie came to play in Trading Places. So Eddie is just a great creator, and I love that for him. He says he doesn't do much. He stays at home. He spends time with his 10 children, his wife. And I love that for him. I love that for him. And y'all go watch it. It's just a good, it took me back and it kind of put all the pieces together as to how he came about to create so many movies and how he aced them every time. Y'all, there's no way that man should not have any recognition for his part that he played in Hollywood. There is no shame on Hollywood. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you, Hollywood. Shame on you. There's no way Eddie Murphy should not have been recognized for doing such a great job in all his movies. But the documentary is on Netflix. Y'all go check it out. He has his children, all around him. And I just hopes that, he relax in this latter part of his career, and reap the fruits of his success. And looks like he is. It looks like he is. Looks like he's, enjoying his latter years. He's 64 now, and he looks good. He's in good shape. It looks like he takes care of himself. His skin is flawless. When I tell you his skin is flawless, it is flawless. But as African Americans, if you take care of yourself, y'all, we don't age. If you take care of yourself, we look good. So I'm not surprised by that. So y'all, I just wanted to jump on and talk to y'all about that. Y'all go check it out. That's what I watched that, and then I'm into the Peacock. It's Her Fault. I'm watching that as well. So it's a lot of things on TV to watch. Different documentaries and different shows, and of course, I'm watching my Christmas movies. I'm gonna get them in by hook or crook. Okay, I'm gonna get my Christmas movies in, y'all, by hook or crook. It is the holiday season, and I plan on getting all my Christmas movies in. So I'll be jumping back and forth from Lifetime to Hallmark, and just trying to make sure I get all my Christmas movies in. But I just wanted to jump on because I didn't jump on my Patreon, so I wanted to jump on and talk to you all and tell y'all to go check that out. Go check out the Eddie Murphy documentary, and also go check out the Sammy Nicole and Fifi show live that we did over there. And I hope you all have a great Sunday. I've gotten up and made some egg white bites. His skin looks amazing. Yes. His skin looks amazing. Okay? He looks good. Eddie Murphy looks good. I haven't been watching anything. You haven't been watching anything? Yep, I've been watching yesterday. Of course, I went to Pilates, and but today I need to get up and do some stuff. I need to fold. I did laundry. I need to fold some clothes up. I need to vacuum. I just need to do a reset Sunday. I fixed some egg bites this morning. So I chopped up some peppers, some spinach, and some turkey bacon, and I did some cilantro, and I did some egg bites and put them in the oven. So I had a couple of egg bites with my coffee this morning, trying to get some protein in. But I really need to get up and do some stuff around here because I've been out, y'all. I've been outside. I've been outside, okay? I've been outside. I went out Friday and Child, I've been outside. So I need to get up and just do a reset. On Sunday, I need to get up and do a reset. I need to vacuum and dust and fold clothes and, pick up stuff where I went out the other night, make up all up. I just need to get a Sunday reset going. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's just gonna be a lazy Sunday. I probably cook some type of pasta or something. I think I'll do me some pasta today with some protein. I started getting rotisserie chickens from Costco's, y'all. They have rotisserie chickens at Costco's, and what I do is when I get the chicken, I cut it up and I put it in like containers and portion it out. And then I can either add like a protein or a carb to it. And that lasts me like for a week, y'all. So let me see. I'm about sick of Nesto sector now. It's too much drama. I'm jumping back in. What is going on? Everybody keeps saying it's a lot of drama. What happened? I took my tree out, but I'll be decorating it in a week for Thanksgiving. Yeah, I need to go get my tree out of the garage. I haven't went and got mine. My decorations is in the garage up on the shelf. So I'm probably gonna do that next weekend. Bring it out and just fluff it out, and then probably Thanksgiving night or Friday after I'll decorate or whatever. But y'all, what is going on with I keep hearing people say it's a lot of drama going on. I heard about somebody had a live and it was a few people on the live talking about another creator. But I hadn't really got off into it because I've been so engrossed in this Cecil McCurry situation, watching Sylvia's videos from that. So I hadn't really been watching nothing else. And then I've been watching I noticed that Sylvia's been dropping some of Sonia and Nesto's calls because people were saying to her, "Why are you dropping the calls on this Cecil and Tanji situation when you said you don't like to drop phone calls from jail?" But now you dropping all these calls and putting and lighting this situation. So now she went back and pulled some calls from January of 2025 of Sonia and Nesto, just to prove that, I guess that she dropped calls on everybody. But I hadn't really been getting off into anything. Eddie's now partying days have served him. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yep, him not partying has saved him. Yep, he said he didn't drink and he didn't party. He didn't do all that. They said he was just real chilled out. He wasn't that guy. He wasn't that kind of guy. And he said when he would go to parties and something would jump off, he would leave before stuff would happen. He said he would leave. He just wasn't that guy. It's the content creators. Pop is right in the middle. Okay. Okay, call me darling. Because I keep hearing everybody talk about it. Now I did see where I guess has made him and the Lenore good because they did a panel interview. The Lenore and Nyla did a panel interview with Deb, talking about Deb is Waka Flocka's mom, talking about the Gucci Man interview on the Breakfast Club. So I did see them do that panel, but I just kind of dropped in. I didn't stay. So I see that they're okay now, I guess. V Lenore and Dennis are okay. Pop is okay. And then Sylvia was live last week and she was on her live, and in the background you hear Dennis Byron. You have a call from Dennis Byron. I said, oh, so I guess they're good too now. So yeah, I hadn't really been getting off into any of that. I hadn't really, none of the videos have came up on my feed, but I guess they're still going back and forth, back and forth. And at some point that gets to be exhausting. The energy that they're putting into all that bantering and bickering and going back and forth. It's not even. It's more serious stuff. Women out here, our black women are out here getting unalived records high. Our black women are coming up missing and being unalive. It's more serious things that are going on out here. And y'all know they don't look for us at the volume that they look for Caucasian women. They don't. The woman that got unalive, Tangi, her son had to do the majority of the footwork before they would actually put the time into finding his mother. He was giving the police leads on finding his mother. So, they don't look for black women at the rate that they look for Caucasian women when we come up missing. And for whatever reason, this psychopath admitted to unaliving this woman. And he took them to where he had buried her. And that's probably the only reason why they found that woman so quick at the rapid time that they found her. So there are so much more things that are going on, y'all, than us bantering as African American people acting ghetto on these YouTube streets. We need to be putting our time and our emphasis into something that really matters. You know what I'm saying? Into something that really matters. We need to be in the fight that is really going to make a difference for us and our community. And we all know that Nesto ain't getting out no time soon. I said it. Yes. Femicide is, yes, it's high. Yes. Yes, we need to be focused on into more of that. And we need to, as women, we need to really this at this time, it seems like that this is happening more often. And a lot of times we don't hear about a Tangi Davis story, right? A lot of times we don't hear about a Tangi Davis story. Now, y'all know I don't condone a lot of what Sylvia does over there on her channel. I don't agree with a lot of that foolishness she has going on over there. And in the beginning of this, I felt some type of way with her releasing the calls with that woman being unalive and showing her face because my heart went out to the son. But she has brought awareness to this situation. She has brought awareness to this situation that our African American women are being put in harm's way more often than we think. Femicide, yes, more often than we think. And it is not brought to the forefront. Now, this case was brought up here locally in Atlanta, and it was all on the news, right? It was all on the news. When I tell you her community from St. Louis came down here, they came to Atlanta looking for her. Her community was not here because she was not from here, but her community was in St. Louis. Her son was here and her grandson was here. And the kicking part about it, there was two things that stood out to me. Well, actually three in this situation. Number one, she helped him get out when he had charges against him that were related to her kidnapping. Number two, initially his bond was denied. The judge said, bond denied. You are a danger for society. If I let you out, society will not be safe. So initially his bond was denied. Tangi wrote affidavit, wrote letters, advocated to get him out after he had kidnapped her. He was so conniving. Let's see, it's so many cases. It's hard to keep up. It's really sad and frightening. Yes. It's so many that we don't hear about. But his family purposely made sure that they had a good rapport with this woman so that she would advocate and write letters for him to get him out. When the judge said that he was not, he was a menace to society, that he was a danger to society, and not let him out. But she advocated to get him out after his family also coerced and went in cahoots, went in with him to convince her to advocate to get him out. And he unalived her, all while wearing an ankle monitor that he got for charges against her. When a person show you who they are, y'all run. Run. Yes. One of my favorite podcasts is Black Girls Gone. Yes. Yes. Yeah, y'all. Yes. So this case right here is just, and my thing is being the analytical person that I am, and I know that we'll never know because she's gone to rest, and may her soul rest. May her ancestors received her with open arms. I just hope her soul is rest at peace. My thing is why? What? Because when that lady left him, the last encounter that she had with him when he was in jail, I'm done with you. You ain't shit. She didn't use not one cuss word, but to sum it up, she pretty much said, "I'm done with you. I'm going back to Missouri." But between December of 2024 and September of 2025, what was it that transpired that would make her want to go back? Okay. I'm subscribed to them. Okay. What would make her want to go back, y'all? That was my thing. Why would she want to go back? And it cost her life. So I just think there's bigger fish to fry than us going back and forth and being messy on the internet, talking about a case. We all know that Nesto ain't getting out no time soon. It is what it is. He don't have a hearing coming up until February. He know he at the end of his rope too. He know. You can hear it in his voice. You see it in his face. He ain't done what he done, and he got to pay the price. He don't have no community like Cecil McCurry. When I tell you, we talked about this on my channel too. When I tell you that man got a community of women that's holding him down. When I tell you the cousin, the sister, the niece, Sheba, Keisha, Tasha. His mama, his step daddy. The only person that don't fool with Cecil is his stepdaddy. When I tell you they sending him money, at least they were with the case of him kidnapping her. He has charges pending for when he kidnapped her, and now he has charges for being unaliving her. He hasn't been indicted. But when I tell you this man has people holding him down, when Nesto said all I need was 10 good players, Cecil got his 10 good players. Okay? He got his people holding him down. Okay? So he down there in Cobb County detention. I don't think he gonna get out. I don't think he gonna get a bond this time, because the woman that helped him get a bond last time has been unalived. The very woman that helped you get out of a situation, you unalive her and say that it's self-defense? I'm sure it was manipulation. She probably focused on the good times and not, yeah, terrible things he done and let her, yeah, 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 I'm sure. But if she would have, because she said, I'm through with you, I'm in therapy, I'm trying to heal. If she just would have kept that same mindset. And y'all, that's why I am a fan Y'all, I could be probably married for the sixth time by now if I would have ignored red flags. That could have been any of us, right? Because we all want companionship. We all desire that love. If I didn't have standards and have not learned, now I'm not saying that I've always had the tools and the resources and the emotional intelligence to see red flags. I often say that dating is easy when you're single. The hard part is not ignoring the red flags, right? Because when you're dating, you're just collecting information and you're vetting. And at that point, when you're collecting information and you're dating and you're vetting, the red flags will appear, right? So the dating is easy. The hard part is not ignoring the red flags, right? And having standards. So that's why I am not a fan of blocking on site. I was talking about this in my Patreon. How last year, this time, I had a roster of about 6 or 7 men. 2024. I refuse to support a family member who's out here doing sick stuff. My son and I had the discussion recently. It's one thing if you had to defend yourself. I'm not holding you down for the craziness. Yes, I agree. But and his family is supporting him. And they know something wrong with him. They know something wrong with him because they coddle him too much. But what I was saying is I'm not a fan of blocking people. Sometimes you got to block people out of your life. You got to shut it down. You are not worthy to have access to me anymore because we don't align. We don't align. If she would have just walked away December 24th and blocked and cut off all connection to him, women need to operate as men, self first. And what have I always said, y'all? And all of my lives and all of my chats on my Patreon, what I say, ladies, put yourself first. Ladies, put yourself first. Men don't have a problem with putting themselves first. And whatever don't align with them, they leave it alone. They walk away. They don't have no problem walking away. I ain't fooling with her. She this, she that, she this, she that. I'm done. I'm done. And that's the attitude we need to have as women. We need to so rest in that energy so much and start cutting people out of your life. No, he this, block, block, you ain't block. You will not have access to me. You will not have access to, you will not treat me a certain way or think you can treat me a certain way and go on. And then 2 weeks later, think you gonna call me and have access to me? Negro, you got me fucked up. Let me show you how this is gonna work. You're xed out. You're eliminated out of my life. You don't deserve to have access to me. And I just wish that's this. And I know that all of us don't are not there. And y'all, I'm not saying I was always there. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I was always there and that person. It took growth and therapy. It took growth, therapy, pulling strength from people who love me, people pouring into me, people talking to me, people giving me resources to grow, to be emotionally intelligent, to tap in, to stay connected to myself. I'm not saying that I was always this person. And I know that it takes time. And she knew that she wasn't that person because she was in therapy. She said, I'm in therapy. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to go on with my life. She said that on one of the calls. She said that. So she knew that she needed help, but only if she would have stuck with that. And the only way she could have done that, and that was a good point that you brought up, call me, darling. Him talking to her in her ear, reminiscing on the good, the good, not wanting to be by herself. So you got to block people. You got to cut them out completely and get them out of your head, out of your mind, and connect with yourself and put yourself first. And only if she would have stood on that, cut off ties from him, she had moved away from him in December of 2024. She said, I got me a place. I'm chilling in my place. I'm about to give you all your stuff back. I'm taking your keys to your mama. I'm doing this. Your mama this, your cousin this. They this. They ain't this. They this. Boom. She dropped the phone down and walked out. She should have blocked him. She knew he was getting out because she helped him. She said, they coming to get you out today. You're going to get bond. Don't worry. I dropped the charges. Don't worry. She did everything for this man. And it cost her her life. And when people do not serve you and you're agitated, they're keeping your emotions and your feelings all over the place, leave them alone. Leave them alone. And I had to learn that. So now it ain't nothing for me. I told my homeboy, he said, what you got going on? I say, living my best life, going to Pilates, yoga, walking with my weighted vest, drinking my water and eating small portions and blocking every nigga that aggravate me. He started laughing. I said, I'm serious. He's talking about, dang, Fee, you like that? I am. I'm standing 10 toes down and putting myself first. I am. And don't care if nobody how they feel about it. Because she's a perfect example as to what happened if you're not connected to yourself. And it just hurts me. And I said this last night. Maybe she felt ashamed and maybe she felt like that she couldn't go to somebody to pull strength from. You know, her son said, I didn't even know all this was going on. He said, I didn't even know my mama was going through all this. She said, this man, y'all, when he got out in December, they spent Christmas together. They spent Christmas together, y'all, when he got out. They spent Christmas together when he got out. When she left that last visit, she should have blocked him. She should have blocked him. Somebody that I knew dealt with for years, like to call. No, you no. You getting blocked. You cannot call me sporadically and think it's okay to have access to me when I know that you don't have my best interest at heart. When it's not self-serving to me. No. When we don't align. No. No. The man has shown her over and over again. They said that the police have been called to their resident so many times for domestic violence. So when it was time to look for her, I don't know if the police felt like there was no urgency, and we're not victim shaming, but I'm just saying, y'all, you got one time for me to have to call the police on you, or the police involved. Ninja, I'm done. You got one time. One time. I'm done with you. But that's just me and where I am. I know a lot of women don't have don't have that within. But sometimes you got to pull your strength from other people and people who love you. Even if you feel like you embarrassed about it. Hell, we all have been through things in life. Even if you got that one friend and say, look, I'm in this situation. This man is doing, I need help. She had her sister. Her sister said, I will be here for every hearing, every time he go to court. I don't know if she didn't feel like she could call her sister or tell her son. Men will go, yeah. Men will go there as soon as you mad, they step and move on. Yes. They will start calling and talking. Yeah, all the stuff you want to hear. Yes. Yes. I call it head effing you. Men will head F you if you let them. If you're not strong and smart and in your game, men will head F you. And you know they ain't no good. They know they ain't no good. You know they ain't got no act right in them. And they know they ain't got no act right in them. But they will head F you every chance they get. It's a game. And some men get off on that. It's a game they play. It's a mind game. They head F you. Even the ones that look like Cecil. The woman was beautiful, attractive woman, smart, making money, making moves. What in the world did she see in him? But some men just come along and they just suck the life out of you. They latch on to women like that they can suck the life out of, pull from them because they're weak. You know, they're weak men that gravitate to strong women or women they think they're strong. But we as women, we have to put ourselves first. We have to. Yep. Yeah. Mind F you. Yes. Call me darling. Men will mind F you. If you ain't no smart woman and up on your game and you ain't got a community and you ain't got somebody you can talk things out to, I don't care who it is. And in the back of your mind, you know you being mind effed, but you don't want to be alone. You see your girlfriend posted up with her man, her husband, they going out, they having a good time, and you want that. But you don't know what your girlfriend going through to get all that. Instead of wanting and and instead of wanting what's for you and being in a place of peace and know that once you work on yourself, all that will come to you. So we have to work on ourselves. And I said this last night on the channel. Sometimes as women, we have to realize that at some point, whether we married or in a relationship or in between marriages or in between relationships, at some point in our lives, we may be alone. We may be alone, y'all. At some point in our lives, we may have a season in our lives where we may not be in a relationship. We may not have companionship. And irregardless to what society says and how they want to label us for being alone and having that season in our life, it's okay. It does not mean that we have to put ourselves in a situation where we don't put ourselves first and where we disconnect from ourselves. Yes, call me darling. I want us to understand that. And I'll say it again. I hadn't always been here. But once I understood that and put myself first and honored myself being and aligned who I was, I start to live and be the best me, the best version of me. I start to honor my happy so I can attract what I desire or what God has for me. Because we attract, we don't chase. And once we understand that as women, at some point, we may be in a season where we may not have companionship. Not to say it's going to always be that way. I've been married 3 times, but in between those marriages, I have been in a season where I've been by myself. And to be honest with you, this particular time around and where I'm at today is the best season of being by myself. You know why? Because I've learned to honor myself in the season of being by myself. I've tapped into who I am. And that comes with me going to therapy, not trauma bonding, not looking for my happiness in something or somebody else, getting emotionally intelligent, and realizing who I am as a person and what I have to offer, and aligning with that. And realizing that if somebody comes into my life and they don't align with who I am and what I have to offer and don't honor that, then that's not my person. And I'm willing to walk away from that. That's just not my person. That's not my person. It's not the time. I still need to do some more growing, some more healing. That's not my person. I don't take it personally. Whereas years ago, I would take it personally, rejection. But now I see it different. I just see things differently because of the growth and the understanding. And I'm more seasoned, more mature, and I've been through things, right? And I look back on what I've been through and realize that God saved me. Oh, oh, you saved me from that. You protected me from that. You brought me out of that. You protect me from that. Because we all at one point could have been a Tangy. We could have all been a Tangy at one point. Not honoring ourselves, not putting ourselves first, and not realizing that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be not be with somebody, especially somebody where the police is gonna be called to your house several times. No. Find you something to do. The best thing I could have ever done was found something that I like to do. Walking, taking long walks, going to Pilates, going to yoga, going to the bookstore and staying for 3 hours, reading, going to my favorite coffee shop. Find something that makes you happy. Find something to do. Because looking for that in a person, you're going to be disappointed every time. Even in my marriage, my spouse, ex-husband, could not fulfill my happiness. And I learned that after my divorce. So you have to find your happy within. You control that, not having somebody in your life. And even when you're in a marriage, still have your separate happy outside of your spouse. Y'all happy together, but you need your own happy. You need your own connection. I know the Bible says you come together as one, and I believe that you are one. But I also believe that you need to have something individually because you will lose yourself in that one. And that's just my how I see. That's how I look at it. And I say that from experience because I really think that I lost myself and I found myself again. And I'm not willing to sacrifice that for nobody or nothing. Nobody or nothing. For nobody or nothing. And I just want us, you know, to realize that, TNG said, and he said, we've been together for 3 years. I invested time in you. 3 years of toxic behavior. And I often hear people say, oh, we've been married for 40 years. Yeah, but he been cheating on you for the whole 40 years. He sucked the life out of you for the whole 40 years. And you look like it. Longevity of a relationship does not solidify the relationship of, to be healthy. It doesn't mean that the relationship is healthy. And yes, he was mind effing her on the calls. Oh, I love you, baby. We're going to get married. I'm about you a ring. You the love of my life. You know I love you. Oh, he was using her grandbaby. That's my grandbaby. He love pop pop. Oh, we going to do this. We going to do that. Oh, he just mind effing her. Mainly so she would write the affidavit for him to get out. And I just hate that for her. I hate that for her. I hate that for her family. So as women, like you all said, men don't have no problem putting themselves, baby. A man, if it don't suit a man, he gonna be gone, and he ain't gonna look back. And that's the attitude I got now. If it don't suit me and it ain't lined up with my purpose, bye bye. These are things that mothers should be teaching in the homes in with their daughters. Yes. And we talked about that too, Call Me Darling, last night with with the Latasha Daniels situation. And I said also that I just really think that she saw her mom being in a toxic relationship with her stepdad where he was abusing her. She saw her mom that didn't have no self-worth, that, that didn't value being loved. So she grew up looking for love. And when she didn't get it, she felt like it was over. Instead of finding self-love and putting herself first. And it cost her freedom. So if you don't put yourself first and have self-love, sometime unfortunately it will cost you your freedom or your life. And we need to learn that early in life as women. You know why? Because we're so emotional. We're emotional, and men are emotional too. But we lead more with it, right? And I want us in the African American community to normalize going to get therapy. Go get help. Latasha Daniels was a clinical therapist. She knew better. She had all the tools and resources, like you said, living proof, to go get help. She didn't feel safe going to anybody in her community. So she went to Brodus, the pastor at the church, for counseling for her marriage, where she should have also went to therapy for her mental health. We do all the shameful things in the world in society today, but we shame to go to therapy and to get help. I've talked about it on this channel several times. I even have videos talking about me going to therapy, how I stayed in therapy for almost 3 years after my third marriage, because I knew I had a problem. I said, Felicia, you the problem. You got something going on. You need to go see what the issue is, because you can't keep going down this road. You cannot keep going this route. I went to therapy. Best decision I could have ever made. Never been to therapy in my life. At 54, I went to therapy. Best decision I could have ever made for putting myself first. Videos are on this channel. Go back and watch my videos. How I talked about how I navigated through it and how it helped me to become more emotionally intelligent. I didn't know anything about being emotionally intelligent until it was introduced to me by my child and my therapist. And when people know that you cannot control your emotions and you're all over the place, they use that against you. And they will mind F you. And in one of his calls, he said, in one of Cecil's calls, he said to his family, she emotional. She emotional, y'all. She emotional. She bipolar. She emotional. So I want us to do better and to check in with ourselves. If you got to do a mental check every day with yourself, do it. And if I don't remember anything else from my therapy session that my therapist told me, she said, Felicia, Never disconnect from yourself. She said, I don't care what you go through. Stay connected to yourself. Your self being and your center of yourself is going to keep you grounded, and it's going to help you navigate through your emotions. And I never forgot that. And that helped me go through a divorce that was from hell. Yes. Self discovery. Yes. Yes. And I learned that in my 50s. In my 50s. And I learned to release what happened. I hadn't forgot about it, but I'm at peace with it. I learned from my past. I learned to release and be at peace with it, and look back on it as a tool to use to grow from. Right? Going to therapy does not remove the issue, but it helps you to process it. Right? A therapist is not going to erase all your trauma. So let me make that clear. But it's going to help you process it and navigate through it and move on. And move on. And I want us to normalize that in our community. Going to therapy. Going to therapy. And so we got these two women. One was a therapist and one was in therapy. But they were disconnected from themselves. Right? They were disconnected from themselves. And you know, the one that was messing with the pastor, he was married. That wasn't even your man. That was somebody else's husband. So you got one lady that lost her freedom, and you got one lady that lost her life, all surrounded around a man. Two very intelligent Black women that were profound in society. They were healthcare providers. They were making a difference in the community, but so disconnected from themselves. Put yourself first, ladies. Put yourself first. Find you something to do. Love on you. Love on the people that love you. Love on the people that, I'm going to say that again. Love on the people that love you. And block and eliminate the people that don't serve you. And I'm out. I'm gone, y'all. Y'all have a great Sunday. Be great on purpose. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.